Dead man talking news now. And a man in Brazil calmly turned up to his own wake this week, freaking the living out of his family, who had gathered to be by the side of his open coffin. So, now, you might think, how did this work? Well, what happened was that his family had not heard from him in a few months when local police called to say that he'd been killed. He worked as a car washer, and another car washer who looked really quite spookily like him had been killed. His brother went to identify the body and mistakenly identified it as him. Cut to the man in question walking down the road, only to have a neighbour say, "You'd better get home quickly, they're burying you today." At this point, Andy, I'm guessing there were, just an absolute avalanche of emotions going through that man's mind. But if he'd managed to just stop and think for a second, just had that momentary pause, he'd have realised it was worth putting some serious thought into that entrance, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Andy, to really grab the attention of a room by the balls. I mean, what do you say when you burst that door open? Do you just go with, ta-da! or maybe, "I'm a ghost. I should be invisible. Oh, shit, how many of you can see me?" Or perhaps just, "What the have you done to my secret twin?"
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, a bedsheet with some eye holes cut out of it. That is an absolute minimum. I guess, it's interesting to see this story, because presumably in about 2,000 years' time, people will be celebrating this man's birthday with a needlessly commercial festival. It's basically clearly what happened with Jesus. There were a hell of a lot of guys with beards in those days.
That's true.
And beards and absolutely ripped six-packs. It could easily have been a case of mistaken identity.
That's right. And rather than being honest about the fact that he'd been away for a few months and hadn't been in touch, he went, "Yeah, I'm back. That's right, I'm back."
God, Jesus was away for a bit, wasn't he?
Rose from the dead.
Basically, guy's been in the wilderness. It's uncannily identical, John. But also, there must have been also conflicting emotions for his family, because, are you pleased that your loved one is still alive, or deeply annoyed that you've just pissed away 150 quid on sandwiches you didn't need? And what's the etiquette on the coffin? I mean, do you tip the corpsicle out of the box and save it for when someone in your family genuinely pops their clogs, or do you let the current dead guy keep it and reach an agreement with his family that they will pay for your next family coffin, price determined by an inflation-linked index? I mean, these are just... The social etiquette, John, is just so ill-defined these days. It's just so hard to know how to behave.